life becomes heavy, I have always found nature to be a great source of inspiration and healing. I worry that future generations may never experience what we failed to protect, like these majestic rivers. This is our journey to bring you closer to nature, to make you aware of these changes and connect with Iceland's vanishing giants. Our goal is simple. This isn't just another travel video. We are exploring the south of Iceland, capturing the breathtaking glacial river braids, living patterns shaped by ice and time, now at risk of disappearing. To understand why, our journey begins at the Vatnajökull ice cap, formed 2.5 million years ago. Today, it's losing 100 to 200 meters of ice every year, impacting the wildlife, rivers, and entire ecosystems. We want to inspire you to understand the transformation unfolding before us. My camera can only capture a fragment of this story. Up close, their textures are magnificent. My journey began 6 years ago, sparked by an image taken by the brilliant storyteller Chris Burkard. It was an aerial view of Iceland's rivers that looked like a living painting. Since then, I've been traveling to Iceland, learning about the glaciers and filming the landscapes. But the more I learned, the more I realized how fragile these ecosystems are. This film is meant to highlight their importance. We'll be traveling through key regions, uncovering how Vatnajökull shapes them and how climate change is transforming them. Here, the terrain is rugged, the drives are long, but the views are stunning. In the south of Iceland, you must be high above the ground to see the river braids. Drones are one way to capture them, but to witness their full complexity, you have to fly high in the sky. They flow like living artwork, the incredible veins of Iceland. Their movement leaves us breathless every time. Glaciers and river braids are deeply connected. From ice to ocean, each stage feeds the next, carrying water, energy, and life across the land. The journey starts with the ice cap, a massive dome of ice storing fresh water. It moves under its own weight, feeding life downstream. The glacier terminus, where melting begins, meltwater escapes the glacier, forming rivers and wetlands. Then into the headwaters. Streams converge, feeding mountain ecosystems with cold, clean flow. The alluvial plain. Sediments spread out, forming the colorful braided patterns that sustain soil and wildlife. And finally, into the river mouth. The river meets the sea, delivering nutrients that support coastal ecosystems. So why are they disappearing and endangered? River braids depend on glacial melt and snow melt. Even though we are focusing on Iceland, glaciers all over the world are being affected. And as the temperature rises, the effects of the weather become more extreme. We are seeing more storms, tsunamis, wildfires, floods, and tornadoes. In Iceland, if the glaciers keep retreating, we can see birds losing nesting grounds, fish losing channels, and the entire ecosystems being disrupted.
The post-industrial era has brought many benefits to humanity, but increased fossil fuel use and carbon emissions have accelerated global warming. In places like Iceland, glaciers melt each summer, and rising temperatures now prevent sufficient ice from reforming during winter. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle of continued ice loss.
If we take a look into the past, during the last ice age, ending 10,000 years ago, massive ice sheets covered much of Iceland. And as they melted, volcanic eruptions shaped the mountains we see today. There are two places that reveal this story. At Kellingafell, still marked by ancient glaciers, here you can see the curved ridges, wide valleys, and milky glacial rivers. Hiking here connects us to these ancient elements. You can smell the sulfur, and you can feel the heat from the steam. Nearby lies Landmannalaugar, a place of color and heat. The rhyolite mountains shimmer in hues of red, yellow, and green. Born from the eruptions of the Turfakul volcanic system, massive craters in Mývatn give you a sense of what that environment was like 500,000 years ago. Around Landmannalaugar, nearby glaciers like Lanjakut are shrinking rapidly, and over time, this leads to less meltwater feeding rivers during summer. We can start to see how much the glaciers have contributed to the environment and how these changes are impacting the system. In our journey so far, some of my favorite elements are the waterfalls. They are closely tied to its glaciers. They are fed by melting ice, rainfall, and snow. Water cascades down cliffs. Some are diverted for hydropower before flowing to the sea. So as glaciers melt, rivers and waterfalls change. In the short term, as the climate warms, melting speeds up, so rivers swell and waterfalls could look even stronger. But in the long run, after a few decades, once the glaciers shrink too much, the opposite happens. Runoff peaks, then starts to decline because there just isn't enough ice left to feed the rivers. Does that mean the waterfalls will disappear? Not all of them. Rain and snow will keep some flowing, but by the end of the century, many smaller glacier-fed waterfalls could disappear. The heat we feel today isn't just summer, it's a warning. Climate change isn't distant, it's already here. Glaciers are retreating, rivers are shifting, places like Mývatn are feeling warmer than ever. The Cool Glacier was declared dead in 2014, the first Icelandic glacier lost to climate change. A memorial plaque installed states:
Og fyrsti nafnkunni jökullinn til að missa titil sinn. Á næstu 200 árum talið að allir jöklar landsins fari sömu leið. Þetta minnismerki til vitnis að við vitum hvað að gerast og hvað þarf að gera. Aðeins þú veist hvort við gerðum eitthvað.
Is it hopeless, or can we still make a difference? I want to say I'm not really a climate expert or an activist, and I don't follow politics closely enough. I'm just someone with a camera trying to tell stories and maybe inspire a few people along the way. Nature has always been a place of healing for me. Hiking, exploring, it gives me so much peace. I know there's no perfect way to live sustainably. The world's too complicated for that. But small changes matter. Awareness matters. So when you visit these places, go with intention. Let them move you. Because what we feel, we protect.
Environmental initiative. In Iceland, it actually felt like I could make a difference. And when I started documenting, first and foremost, Iceland's glacial river systems, there are these beautiful braided river systems that actually flow down from the glacier to the ocean. What's so cool about them is that the first time I ever shot them, photographed them, was because I was shooting surfing. Because this is how the sandbars were formed in Iceland for all of its incredible reef setups. What it's really known for is what it really has is endless beach breaks and crazy river mouths. And those river mouths, when you trace them back, they go to the glacier. And what flows out is glacial sediment. And that glacial sediment is just like crushed minerals, rhyolite, the pressure of the rocks. It's so cool. When you're in the air and you're looking at them from a plane, they look like these braided arteries or patterns. I mean, it is hard to articulate. I'll send you some photographs of it, but it is cool because it's the shallow water weaving over tributaries and sandbars and stuff like that. It's flowing out to the ocean. Point being,